Good morning. Welcome to this session of Savitri summarization. Here we are going to discuss on a brilliant topic that is on new creation. So on new creation we are going to discuss in brief. Of course, it is only a gist or summary. So this is, as we know, it is a session of summarization, Savitri summarization. So here it is actually a book 3, canto 3. Very royal coincidence we can find book 3, canto 3. The house of the spirit and the new creation. So this topic, new creation, how it will be, what will be the format and the change we are going to discuss. Of course we will see as per Sri Aurobindo's quotations. Sri Aurobindo course initially, so far this new creation is concerned, a new creation from the old shall rise means it is in the fall. Here it is in the fallen state, it will rise. From the world, new creation will rise. A knowledge inarticulate find speech. Knowledge that is yet to be articulated shall find speech. Beauty suppressed at present burst into paradise bloom. Pleasure and pain both dive into their absolute bliss. Not only pain but also the pleasure, and also a tongueless oracle shall speak at last. At last, a tongueless oracle shall speak. The superconscient conscious grow on earth. On earth, the superconscient conscious will shall grow. The eternal wonders join the dance of time. There is a dance of time we can find. There is ups and downs, dance of time. There is very much we are privileged to see the enchanting dance. And here another addition will be there. The eternal wonder join the dance of time. So we are going to take the initial bit from Sri Aurobindo. A mightier task remained than all he had done. Because already we have seen pursuit of the unknowable letter in the latter part of the discussion just yesterday. We have seen both in English and Odia the adoration of the Divine Mother. Hence, so his task is getting mightier. A mightier task remained than all he had done. Again, Sri Aurobindo quotes beautifully. Intense, one-pointed, monumental loan. The glorious description we can find here. Intense, one-pointed, monumental loan. Patient, he sat like an incarnate hope, motionless on a pedestal of prayer. So, a strength he sought that was not yet on earth, not yet on earth that strength he sought. Help from a power too great for mortal will. Then we can go little bit ahead. He felt the stark resistance, huge and dumb. Resistance, and that is stark resistance, and that is also described as a huge and dumb. So, of our inconscient and unseen base, resistance is stark, it is huge and dumb. So, we can find the ignorant know in the origin of things, a veiled collaboration with the night. So, you can find better in the latter part of the discussion when we are going, and of course, we are observing, hoping the incoming truth might stumble and fall, and the old ideal voices wandering mourned. So, all nature recondite spaces we are stripped bare. All nature's recondite spaces we are stripped bare. All her dim crypts and corners surged with fire we can find. So again we find a last and mightiest towards the latter part of the Sri Aurobindo quotes about the inconscient and the subconscient. There is a beautiful description. For the inconscient who is infinity. For the inconscient who is infinity, the more it stretches, we insist to sound, the more it stretches endlessly. Then lest a human cry should spoil the truth, he tore desire off from its bleeding roots. He tore desire off because no need and no place for desire from its bleeding roots, and offered to the gods the vacant place. Then we can go. A last and mightiest transformation came. His soul was all in front like a great sea, you can see. His soul was all in front like a great sea, flooding the mind and body with its waves. His being spread to embrace the universe. His being spread to embrace the universe, united the within and the without, to make of life a cosmic harmony, an empire of the immanent divine. So, again, we can find the change, the transformation, how it is working on him. He felt the joy of others as his joy. He bore the grief of others as his grief. The universal sympathy upward, immense like ocean, the creation's Lord, as earth. That is a beautiful comparison and image given by Sri Aurobindo. As earth obvious all beings sacrifice. We can go. There was no cleavage between soul and soul. There was no barrier between world and God. So it is actually, everything is actually in harmony, in beauty. His nature grew a movement of the all. His nature grew a movement of the all, exploring itself to find that all was he. His soul was a delegation of the all. Just imagine how, who really Sri Aurobindo is, who the master is, Asapati is. His soul was a delegation of the all, that turned from itself to join the one supreme. His seeking mind seized in the truth that knows. His life was a flow of the universal life. He stood fulfilled on the world's highest line, awaiting the ascent beyond the world, awaiting the descent the world to save. Just imagine what about his sadhana, what about his position really, must know, we must feel really how it is working and how the transformation is being achieved. Life in his members lay down vast and mute, naked, unworld, unterrified it bore the immense regard of immortality. Really, he was immortal, bound to dallies with mortality. We have heard on them. So here we can see on him, and here we can see the immense regard of immortality. Infinity swallowed him into his shoreless trance. Let us go for the brief summarization, then we'll come for the next part of the description. So again, later we'll go for the spirit, and finally we'll go for the new creation. So this is the scenario we find here in the course, the house of the spirit and the new creation. It is actually book 3 and the canto 333. So Aswapati now turns to the source of all being, source of all being. In the utter silence of his soul, he aspires for the strength that is not on the earth. The light of the truth still beyond, but he meets with no response. He feels the resistance of the inconscient base, This negation is lurking even in himself. Resistance, we can find the terms he is facing, he is finding on the way. Old claims persist. He spots these elements and tears from them from their roots, because it is the core desire of, already we have seen that the desire must go. Now, a great and a last transformation comes to over him. Mightiest transformation came on her. His soul spreads out like a sea and embraces the universe in one unity. There is no division, no difference. He becomes one with all in soul, and in nature. He becomes one. There is no more division, no chance. The human separative formula is transcended. Human separative formula, no separation, no ego, no gulf, no barrier, no resistance. So, how he now waits for the ascent beyond the world. Even if there is resistance, he feels, but actually he overcomes it. He also awares the descent to save the world. Descent that will save the world, already we have seen. His senses fail, movement cease. Senses, nothing to do with the senses. Life movements cease. He is swallowed in a trance of the infinity. That's what we have already come across. So again, we'll go a little bit away. Voyaging through the paths of light, he is voyaging through the paths of light. He reaches the sempiternal base. Reaches his sempiternal base where all is still, untouched by the pull of the nature. Nature is pulling, but it is untouched. He has crossed that point. That is, it already he has overtaken the pull. The world machinery casts no shadow here. World machinery has nothing to do or casts no shadow here. There is only the motionless power of the spirit and the peace. There is only the motionless power of the spirit and peace, omnipotent and omniscient. Only what is there? No pull of the nature, no shadow. So what is there then? Motionless power of the spirit and the peace, omnipotent and omniscient. The guardians of the truth law is here. The guardians of the truth law are here. Conscient nature and the witness soul are poised here in perpetual calm. Omniscient nature, conscient nature and witness soul, both conscient nature and witness soul are poised in perpetual calm. Ashwapati is alone with the one. He joins the sessions of infinity. He joins the sessions of infinity. All grows empty. There is a pregnant hush, a universal force awaits the final degree of the transcendent. So let us go and read few lines from Sri Aurobindo and have the supernal touch in our cells and tissues and the nerves. Let us feel how it is described in the lesson by Sri Aurobindo. His soul abandoned the bright star-filled space, afar from all that makes the measured world. Again, Sri Aurobindo, after transcending, after going a little bit ahead, he reached at last his sempiternal base. Just now we saw, on sorrowless heights no winging cry disturbs, pure and untouched above mortal play. There no beginning is, there no end. There is the stable force of all that moves. There the ionic laborer is at rest. There turns no kid creation in the void. No giant mechanism watched by a soul. So marriage of evil with good in one breast. No gulf, no barrier. Everything is united in harmony. The class of strife in the very clasp of love, the dangerous pain of life's experiment is gone. So you can find thought classes not with thought and truth with thought. No truth, no class. No war of right with the rival right. There is no stumbling and half sinking lives passing from chance to unexpected chance. No suffering of hearts compel the heart to bliss. Everything is in harmony, everything is pleasant. So, their nature in her dumb spiritual couch, immutable transcended, knows her source. Again, we can go. All cuddling, all sustaining and aloof. The witness looks from his unshaken poise, an eye immense regarding all things done. So he abode, defended in his shoreless sea, companioned only by the all-seeing one. A mind too mighty to be bound by thought, a mind too mighty to be bound by thought, a life too boundless for the play in space, a soul without borders, unconvinced of time. Just imagine how the mind, life and the soul is changing. He felt the extinction of the world's long pain. He became the unborn self that never dies. He joined the sessions of infinity. Then again, a immortal hush before, a stillness of cessation reigned, the wide immortal hush before the gods are born. Before the gods are born, you can find one universal, wide, vast hush. A universal poet force awaited mute the veiled transcendence ultimate decree. Then Sri Aurobindo having a beautiful comparison here. A living oneness widens at its core and joined him to the unplumbed in multitudes. A bliss, a light, a power, a flame white love caught all into a soul immense embrace. A mind, all mind was a single harp of many strings, all life a song of many meeting lives. For worlds were many, but the self was on one. We can go later because it is somehow a bigger topic to be discussed in our stipulated time. That is what we are going to discuss. There was no contraries, no sundered parts. All by spiritual links were joined to all. All by spiritual links were joined to all and bound indissolubly to the one. So later we can go a little bit ahead and listen what is there in the next page of this description by Sri Aurobindo, because we know each lived for God in him and God for all. Each soulness inexpressibly held the whole. Their oneness was not tied to monotone. So everything is universal. A word, a laughter sprang from the silence breast. A word, a laughter sprang from the silence breast. A rhythm of beauty in the calm of space. So here we can go. His mind answered to countless communing mind. His words were syllables of the cosmos speech, his life a field of the vast cosmic star. His mind, words, life. He felt the footsteps of a million wheels. So again, the bliss of a myriads who are one. So let us summarize them first, then we'll go for the next part of our discussion. So it is a brilliant description, and we'll see a little bit from the, we'll go a little bit towards the summarization portion. Ashwapati looks down and becomes aware of the ocean of oneness, no gulf, no separateness, no distinction, no division. There is one self and based upon one self, one mind, and one life. Then a new creation he has gone arises from this oneness. Each of this creation is unique and yet one with all, one with all. Oneness is not a monotone but multifaceted. Just now we have seen. Form reveals its inner truth. Struggle is a stripe of love. Just find that sweet harmony. Struggle is a stripe of love. Difference and identity are are mutually supporting. Difference and identity are mutually supporting. Bliss is the undying truth of all. Nature a conscious front of God. Wisdom works securely everywhere. Love and ecstasy are unbroken in this creation. Just imagine happy difference, all contraries in happy difference, all difference meet in happy, differences and contraries meet in happy union. So Ashwapati sees himself a portion of the universal gaze, his feeling. A center of the pervading light, he feels in himself the life throb of the millions. He sees a hierarchy of luminous planes. He saw a hierarchy of luminous planes here, each unique in its kind, all attuned to the one truth, all the entire planes unique in its kind, attuned to one truth. The one and the many are in perfect harmony. The one and the many are in perfect harmony, and all creating bliss seeks for forms to manifest the divine truths. A vast truth consciousness takes up these forms. A vast truth consciousness takes up these forms and hues and releases them into the manifestation in time. The Divine Mother moves in the cosmic house sporting with the God child. So divine, beautiful description. The Divine Mother moves in the cosmic house sporting with the God child. So let us go a little bit into the original description and the original definition and the original glaring lines put by Sri Aurobindo. We'll see. So again here, Sri Aurobindo quotes here, that is actually alone in beauty, perfect in self-kind, each house to the gladness of a bright degree. So the spirit's white neutrality became a playground of miracles, a rendezvous for the secret powers of a mystic timelessness. So their mind, a splendid son of vision's rays, capital M. Their mind, a splendid son of vision's rays. Again, we are going. The word that usurps divine experience and the ideas that crowd the infinity. There was no gulf between the thought and the fact. So, ever they replied, beautiful comparison, like bird to calling bird. So, their life pursued, unworried of her sport, joy in the heart, in her heart, and laughter on her lips. So, we can find here that good definition we find here. Untired of sameness and untired of change, endlessly she unrolls her moving act, a mystic drama of divine delight, a living poem of world ecstasy, a mono of significant forms, a coiled perspective of developing scenes, a brilliant chase of self-revealing shapes. So these are the beautiful definition we can find. We can find description. So again we can find it towards the end of this paragraph where it is actually there is a break we can find. Time was eternity's transparent robe. So an architect hewing out a self's living rock phenomenon built reality's summer house on the beaches of the sea of infinity. So it is better to go for the little bit more description into the chapter. So after getting the description, we'll go for the summarization. So this is all powers. So all powers that are incomplete and erring on the earth are they are complete and perfect. Here erring and packed with incompleteness, they are find there it is complete and perfect. Mind, imagination, truth, power, life. Four things here in the course. Mind, imagination, truth, power, life. These all these four. So how it is working there really? All are their optimum. Matter is the firm density of the spirit, substance, a harp of the self, beauty, harmony, light, bliss, another four. Beauty, harmony, light, and bliss are perpetual here. Again, against this glory, there floats below another scheme and its opposite, where the world does not know its self and spirit is denied by matter. That is what the point of discussion here. Its opposite, where the world is not the world does not know the self and the spirit is denied by matter. Three powers govern the course of the lower creation. An unknowing force at the beginning, three forces here in the course. Unknowing force in the beginning, then comes an emergent soul in the middle, and at the end a spirit withdrawn from life. About the three things in the lower three powers here in the course. An unknowing force in the at the beginning, emergent soul in the middle, and at the end spirit withdrawn from life. Then here in the course. But the darkness of this world in ignorance really hides the glorious truth. Darkness of the world in ignorance hides the glorious truth which shall manifest one day. One day it has to manifest, but has been darkened. It has been, of course, hidden. And the superconscient grow conscious on earth. Superconscient grows conscious on earth. Asapati regards this world as it is, and he sees below his own body, which seems foreign to him. So then we can find about the little bit ahead. That universe seems far and only the self and eternity are true. Universe seems too far and only true, seeming true. What seems true is the self and eternity. But soon the memory of the striving plains climb to him. Memory of the striving plains climb to him and brings their cry, because he is the representative of the suffering earth. So things are coming, climb to him, this striving plains. Memory of the striving plains come, invade him, and brings their cry. A ray of the supreme response. When there is a cry, there must be a response. The ray of the supreme response, for even there below, it is oneness that dwells. So let us come to to quote few lines from the original writings of the master here. So Mahajogi Sri Aurobindo here tries to describe and write here. Sri Aurobindo quotes here that about a world that knows. So here the world that knows not its inhabiting self labors its to find its cause and need to be. A spirit ignorant of the world it made obscured by matter, travestied by life, struggle to emerge, to be free, to know and then. These we are close tied in one disharmony, yet the divergent lines met not at all. So again, three powers we have discussed, that is in the beginning an unknowing force, in the middle an embodied striving soul, in its end a silent spirit denying life. So, not the last latter part of the creation, in is we have seen the new creation. A new creation from the old shall rise, a knowledge inarticulate find speech. Beauty suppressed burst into paradise bloom. Pleasure and pain dive into their absolute bliss. A tongueless oracle shall speak at last. The superconscient conscious grow on earth. The eternals wonder, join the dance of time. But the thing is that it not yet achieved. That's what also steer in the course. But now all seemed a vainly teeming vast, upheld by a deluded energy. Then we can see he saw a world that is from a world to be. He saw a world that is from a world to be. There he divined rather than saw or felt. Again, here in the quotes here, a fragile copy of the spirit cell, nothing on mind, matter, and the body. A fragile copy of the spirit cell, his body gathered into mystic sleep. A foreign shape it seemed, a mystic said. Then we are going towards the end point of our discussion, to the peak we are going. Hidden in matters inscrutable, insentient multitude. That's what is this seed self sown in the indeterminate forfeits its glory of divinity, concealing the omnipotence of its force, concealing the omniscience of its soul, and agent of its own transcendent will. So again we can find his two forms. He was he appears to be two beings. Two beings he was, one wide and free above. Two beings he was, one wide and free above, one struggling bound intense its portion here. A tie between them still could bridge two worlds. So all had not ceased in the boundless hush. His heart lay somewhere conscious and alone, far down below him like a lamp in night. So we can go towards the end point of our discussion. We find timelessly waiting through the patient years, her coming they had asked for earth and men. Spirit of the house of the spirit, the new creation, now itself coming, the divine mother, her arrival is awaited. So this is long, there is a end to this long awaited long awaiting, it has to be ceased. Timelessly waiting through the patient years, her coming they had asked for earth and men. Extinction could not quench that lonely flame. Then you can find a letter, a beautiful description. It sent its voiceless prayer to the unknown. It listened for the footsteps of its hopes. Returning through the void immensities, it waited for the fiat of the word that comes through the still self from the Supreme. So, let us try to conclude here within a couple of lines, that beautiful lines. So we find Ashwapati finds that he is two beings at the same time. One free above, second struggling bound below. His heart lies between the tranced prayer. Heart lies in between the tranced prayer. It lies in mute appeal to the Supreme. Heart lies in mute appeal to the Supreme, refusing the joy others can't share. All other parts of his being are silent. All other parts of his being were silent and surrendered to the higher will. That is a great thing to be noted. All other parts of his being are silent and surrendered to the higher will. Only his heart is affair with the call. Only his heart, because we know psychic being, it is behind the heart. Only his heart is attire with the call. No extinction can quench this flame burning higher and higher. No extinction can quench the flame burning higher and higher. So this is the house of the spirit and the new creation. That is a great description by the master of the new creation and how the spirit self, psychic soul. So great description and the new creation from the old soul is the description, and how the mightiest transformation is coming on and how everything is getting changed. So let us at last let us quote it finally for the last time. It sent its voiceless prayer to the unknown. It listened for the footsteps of its hopes. Returning through the void immensities, it waited for the fiat of the word that comes through the still self from the Supreme. So, naturally, it will be a very inspiring topic for you. No doubt of it, you will be in a very uplifted mood, and this delight and beatitude and epiphany will fill your brain, heart in a universal way. This touch may be able to transcend you to lift to a higher level. Okay, let us hope and expect these things, and wait for the next chapter. Vande Mataram.